Hey everyone, welcome back to the Studio, and today I'm here to bring a video for you guys. I'm going to be reviewing the Season 4 finale of Cobra Kai, titled The Rise. This was epic. I've watched it several times all the way through, a lot to break down for sure. So let's just kind of go ahead and get started. So we kind of start out with Stingray in the hospital. And there's a detective investigating the attack, so yeah, that's more important later. So yeah, Miguel's gonna be fine after the last episode. We find out he just pulled a muscle, so he has 30 minutes to recover so he can continue the fight with Hawk, otherwise he'll be disqualified. Meanwhile, Robby beats Dimitri in a match, so Dimitri's out. So are we surprised? I mean, Dimitri's not a bad fighter. I mean, he just, the skills competition I think is where he really succeeds at. So yeah, Robby beats Dimitri, and the girls' finals is going to be Tori and Sam. And then we get a scene where Anthony tries to apologize to Kenny, but Kenny beats him up, and Robby catches him and tells Kenny to stop. And you can tell Robby failed. Like, as a mentor, he failed, and he's upset about that. Personally, Anthony did deserve that, but I also feel like if someone's trying to apologize, even if it's not the most sincere apology, you don't have to accept it necessarily, but you have to accept the fact that they are trying to apologize. You can't just go and beat them. Like, that's not right. Like, that was kind of assault what he was doing to Anthony. So I do think he kind of messed up there, but he also kind of deserved it, and I think he could have tried to form a better apology. But then again, he didn't know what it was like to be in Kenny's shoes, to be bullied, so he can't relate. That's the problem we have here. Okay, so then we get a scene with Johnny and Crease, and we kind of, how do I say this? Because it is an interesting scene, but it's also one that's not really important. But pretty much, we kind of see a softer side of Crease, and we see his affection for Johnny. So I think that was nice, and and how he forced Johnny to fight dirty against Daniel back in Karate Kid 1, and how he didn't want to fix that. He didn't want to have that mistake again. I'll talk about that later. He didn't want to force any of his students now to fight dirty after he messed up with Johnny. So yeah, and then we see Miguel has 1 minute to return to the map, but guess what? He doesn't. So then now it's going to be Hawk versus Robby. So then we get a scene with Miguel and Sam, and they pretty much make amends with each other. Really sweet scene, I guess, although I still don't really ship them, because they hardly had any scenes together this season, so it's kind of hard to really get on board with their relationship, in my opinion. Okay. But Miguel says he doesn't feel like he was fighting for himself anymore. So that's definitely important. Okay, so Cobra Kai has had so many points that they only need 1 match to win, while Miyagi-Do needs 2. And now Eagle Fang is officially disqualified from the thing, because Miguel didn't show, and they had already had no chance of getting in the girls' tournament. So then we see Robby versus Hawk, and guess who wins? This was like the perfect match, because they're both so even, and like both so similar when it comes to their fighting, that I don't know who's expecting, but it was Hawk who won. Congratulations. I definitely think he deserved it. He's had such a rough season, so I definitely think this was the right thing that he needed, and to hold that trophy in his hand. So yeah, Hawk wins. Good job, Hawk. I do kind of feel bad for Robby, but I don't know. I think he was just so messed up over the whole Kenny thing that he was so distracted, which makes sense. Okay, so then we see the girls' match. And before the girls' match, Amanda and Tori have a quick, sweet moment where Amanda wants Tori to play by the rules, and Tori agrees to. So then we see Sam and Tori fight, and pretty much there is an attack to the elbow, but the ref's fine with it, and then she steps out of bounds for a second. The ref's fine with it. So it's starting to seem a little fishy, because these rules wouldn't apply in a normal day. And then we see Daniel and Johnny come together to be Sam's senseis. And we see Sam kind of combine both of their styles, Daniel's defense and Johnny's offense, to create her own style. Unfortunately, it fails because she loses the match. More on that later, and what I think is coming for Sam. Okay. So then Cobra Kai wins because of Tori's win. I will say Tori kind of deserved that win in a way, but also not, because I'll talk about that in a second. So pretty much Silver gives the acceptance speech, and he says there'll be an opening several other Cobra Kai franchises throughout the valley. So yeah, Sam's upset because she lost, but then Tori overhears the ref. Tori overhears the ref. Turns out the Silver bribed the ref with money to make sure that Tori won. So that was a big reveal, and poor Tori had to witness that she didn't win fairly. That was sad. Like, I almost feel more bad for Tori than Sam here. I mean, I always have, just because Sam has grown up in a privileged life and Tori hasn't. I've always connected with Tori more. But I do feel bad for Tori here, because imagine thinking that you won and then you just find out that you didn't win fairly. I mean, I would rather just lose and try to move on, but winning, like, I would rather lose than win unfairly. Like, I think that's a lesson that everyone should learn. Like, it is sad, and Tori didn't know that. And the fact that she had to find out like that, and just with that trophy in her hand, and wow, that was a lot, for sure. Okay. So, yeah, we kind of cut from there, and we get a really, really well done scene between Johnny and Robby. One that we've been waiting for 4 seasons. And yeah, they go to Cobra Kai. Now it's abandoned because they're moving to a new location, so we do find that out. So maybe this space has potential for something else in the future. But yeah, pretty much Robby tells his dad that he wanted to take Kenny up under his wing, but he feels like he failed. He feels like it was looking through a mirror, and he breaks down the hate, the mistakes, and everything he had felt for Johnny and Miguel too, which I do wish we saw more of Miguel and Robby's relationship. I feel like that's something that fell flat. But pretty much, he says, "I'm sick of blaming you, Dad," and then they share a hug, and I actually cried during that scene. Like, that was actually really sad. I think it's been something we've been waiting for 4 seasons, and yeah, so that's that. Really well done. I really hope this can improve their relationship in the future. So then we cut over to Silver and Crease, and they're having a celebratory drink, and they're talking about... Silver brings up Crease's weakness again, which kind of caught me off guard. It's like, why are you doing that? Silver knows that his weakness is Johnny. Because I always thought Crease does have a soft spot for Johnny deep down. Like, that is his soft spot. I think it's important that Silver found that, but still is kind of random. And then we find out that Silver forced Stingray to frame the attack on Crease in order to let him back into Cobra Kai. So yeah, now Crease is arrested, and Silver has become the official villain. We kind of saw this coming, of Cobra Kai. And he does say something, I'm sure I can find a friend or two to help me out with Cobra Kai while you're gone. Mike Barnes, for sure. Let's go. So, yeah, poor Crease. I actually kind of feel bad for Crease. Crease was actually good this episode, and Silver was definitely not good, for sure. Okay, so then we see, we find out that Miguel has left to Mexico to try to find his father, but we find out from Carmen that Miguel's dad doesn't know he exists, which seems to be like he left before Carmen announced that she was pregnant. Or he just forgot. I assume the first option is what's correct. So Johnny's going to go look for Miguel to save him from any dangerous stuff down there, and it turns out Miguel's dad is a bad dude. So this was a good way to end that storyline. I'm excited for season 5 in that sense. But then we get this final scene where Daniel as at Mr. Miyagi's grave, and he says, despite the deal that he made, he's not stepping down as a sensei. He won't be closing the doors of Miyagi-Do, and he's going to take the offense to take down Cobra Kai with an old friend, Chosen. What a cliffhanger. Wow. Definitely not expecting that, but it was a great, great twist. I did not think he would be coming back as a series regular, but I guess next season he'll be back as one. And that's, I think, pretty great for Daniel to have someone to help him. Overall, I think this sets up things really good for season 5 and some of the most interesting storylines that we see in this show so far. And I really hope that we see Robby and Johnny's relationship, Robby, Miguel, Johnny's relationship, just kind of like that three of them, Daniel and Chosen, and more. So comment down below, what did you think of the finale? So like, comment, subscribe, and bye everyone.